Parental discretion advised.
This civilian talk. If you listen to that bullshit, that ain't even smart. Have you spewing out fake news? Get you ripped apart. But this Mr. P.I. and this civilian talk. Hey.
It's your boy, Mr. P. Coming straight at you. Bring you that civilian talk. Please wake up American news, because if we don't wake up today, we may not have an America to wake up to tomorrow. You feel me? Listen, we got a great show for you today, you know what I'm saying? It's going down in your part of town as usual, you know what I'm saying? We also started a new podcast for a change of pace. It's an adult podcast. If you want to, listen to like some late night encounters, bad advice on relationships, some good advice on relationships, some sex shit, you know what I'm saying? We are literally about to use what the devil is using to take everybody away from God to bring them back to God and shit. So we literally about doing adult podcast to literally bring them back to civilian talk podcast so they can save their fucking life and shit. It's fucking genius and shit. I'm telling you. Fucking genius. I'm telling you, bro. This shit gonna fucking work like a motherfucker and shit. Civilian Talk Radio is gonna pop whether anybody wanna help or not. You already know. So today, we have the end of humanity as planned by the globalist leaders and shit. You already know. Terrible shit. Terrible shit. Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan are blown away by the many times Alex Jones made shocking predictions. You already know. Biden's urgency, 6 ways to prevent the Democrats from stealing the next election. Biden voters brag illegals are coming to vote illegally for Democrats and shit to keep Trump out of office. I mean, it's crazy. Fake news. MSNBC. Morning Joe melts down after a reporter gets heckled for being called fake news and shit. So they're like, oh, he's mad at Trump. He wasn't saying it to you. He was saying it to Trump. It's just like the Let's Go Brandon shit when they were saying, fuck Joe Biden, clap, 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 so fuck Joe Biden, clap, clap, clap. And they was like, oh, they're saying, let's go Brandon. No, they wasn't. You already know. No, they wasn't. USDA approves Frankenstein-made meat by splicing pig genes with soybean. And it's fucking crazy. We got that and so much more coming straight at you and shit. So don't move your motherfucking switch. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have a great show. You already know how we go around this motherfucker. So, yeah, I'm going to be back on the other side with even more of this shit. So don't move your motherfucking switch. It's your boy.
Today's episode was brought to you by Civilian Talk Radio.
Folks say, P, why do you do the show? What's the goal of the show? I say to pull people out the matrix. They say, well, what does that actually mean? And that's when I turn into Morpheus.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters. The very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? I was... Look again. Freeze it.
This isn't the Matrix.
No. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you are one of them.
What are they?
Sentient programs. They can move in and out of any software still hardwired to their system. That means that anyone we haven't unplugged is potentially an agent. Inside the Matrix, they are everyone, and they are no one.
We have survived by hiding from them, by running from them. But they are the gatekeepers. They are guarding all the doors, they are holding all the keys, which means that sooner or later, someone is going to have to fight them.
Someone.
I won't lie to you, Neo. Every single man or woman who has stood their ground, everyone who has fought an agent has died. But where they have failed, you will succeed.
Why?
I've seen an agent punch through a concrete wall. Men have emptied entire clips at them and hit nothing but air. Yet their strength and their speed are still based in a world that is built on rules. Because of that, they will never be as strong or as fast as you can be.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?
No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
And we back. Yeah. So, literally, I'm working super hard, folks. I really need y'all support on some real shit. I just got finished episode 1 of Craken Time podcast, where we talk about adult theme interests, you know what I'm saying? And it did get X-rated on that joint. And we're also looking for people to come on to the show and, you know what I'm saying, have the opportunity to, elaborate on some of their interesting experiences and, help the people fix their relationships sexually and with their partners and shit. As well as bring them back over here to CivilianTalkPodcast.com. You already know. So they can listen to Civilian Talk Podcast. You know what I mean? What's greater than that? Having people fix their relationships and save themselves all at the same time under one roof and shit. Civilian Talk Radio. Let's go. Yeah, you already know, man. I'm so excited. I got a lot of people already interested in listening to the show. They like, yo, what's up with that Joan? I know that Joan probably gonna be crazy and shit. And literally, I give out a lot of advice for the women and shit. You know what I mean? So they can stop doing too much, man. They fucking doing too much and turning off all the niggas. And then they trying to figure out why they ain't got no niggas. It's because they fucking, they drawing. They drawing, like, on some real shit. But that's a story for another day. Matter of fact, that's the story for Craken Time podcast. Y'all can go find that over at CivilianTalkPodcast.com and check out the podcast section. Slide your ass over there. Go check that shit out. You already fucking know. Great fucking show. You already know. So today, man, besides, the shit we're about to talk about, we've been talking about for a very long time and shit. So, if this show is a little bit shorter than usual and shit, please forgive me because I did just do an hour-long podcast on Craken Time. I tried to do it last night so it wouldn't conflict with this show, but then shit ain't work out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got tied up. I won't explain, but you know what I'm saying? I got tied up and it didn't work out. So now I'm working twice as hard on the same fucking day and shit, which will probably be dope because now y'all probably be checking out both shows at the same time, which is great. And it's going to be something that's going to pique the folks' interest. Sex sells and people love sex. Why not talk about it? You already know. Crazy shit going on, you know what I'm saying? They are literally trying to turn your world upside down and shit. That's probably why I was taking a change of pace with a different style of podcast. Because, I'm pretty burnt the fuck out. Just looking around the room and assessing the situation and shit, I'm pretty fucking burnt out, man. Keep it a bean. And, yeah, man, I just can't wait till shit get fixed. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait till shit get fixed, till motherfuckers really start understanding what's going on out there, what's really happening, why it's happening, and who it's happening to, like you know what I'm saying? And I really need people to wake up. I really need people to wake up, for real, though. The time is getting short. We ain't got that much time to keep fucking shaking motherfuckers like, look, bro, these niggas is right here at your door with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If you don't fucking help me do something about it and shit, they're going to get both of us. We don't have that much time left. We have done that time and time again. And now we're to the point where, you know what I'm saying, time is short. You feel me? Time is short. And either God gonna come down here and just wipe the floor with everybody and shit, or we gonna see a bloodbath, then God gonna come down here and wipe the floor with everybody. And I'm not trying to see either one. So if we can band together and, you know, get some shit done, say some shit to our local elected officials, become our local elected officials and shit, and actually make some progress and change for the benefit of the actual people as opposed to benefiting ourselves and shit on behalf of the people and shit, you already know. Now, man, then we can get some shit done. Then we can fix some policies. Then we can fix the public school system. Then we can fucking fix, you know what I'm saying, our roads and our homes and our fucking, you know, the tax liabilities and shit. Then we can solve some real fucking problems. And that's the thing, like, they don't want a nigga like me talking about that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Nobody want a nigga like me talking about fucking these types of issues because it conflicts with what the fuck they got going on. Now, the only reason they don't come at me is because I already got a background. They know I'm not scared of jail and shit. And I'm pretty sure they already know me just living in the hood and shit. I done seen death multiple times and shit. And Faith looked them in the eye and God saw fit to put a shield in front of me and shit. So there's no point in doing that. So what they do is they throttle me and make sure my voice is not heard. So they be like, you got freedom of speech but not freedom of reach. You know what I'm saying? So it'll tell me, you know, very few people listen to the show, but then I'll have actual physical feedback from more people than they told me listen to the show and shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker hit me up. Yeah, bro, that joint was that joint was, the part where you know what I'm saying? The motherfucker go through all the bullshit, like, and then Spotify and all these other joints be like, nah. And then the one joint that was being honest and shit, that was giving me my thousands and thousands and thousands of spins regularly and showed the counts and all that shit without being fucking subjected to censorship, they bought that shit out and shut that shit down. Breaker used to tell you the honest fucking results. I had like fucking 40,000 streams on 100 episodes and shit. Spotify said I only had like 2,000. Like, how the fuck does that work? You know what I'm saying? And then I added an additional 200. They like, yeah, you got over 80,000 more. You know what I'm saying? But Spotify like, yeah, you got another 2,000. Like, how the fuck does that work? You know what I'm saying? Like, the honesty is, they trying to discourage me from coming out here and giving y'all these motherfucking sermons and preaching to y'all and telling y'all how to fucking fix all our fucking problems and shit. They don't want me doing that. You know what I'm saying? And the more you niggas sit around and fucking capitulate to that bullshit, the more they're going to fucking sit in your face and be like, yeah, he's not going to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because they taking away the information that's going to save your life. You know what I mean? Y'all don't care? All right, y'all don't care. That's solid. You know what I mean? You do care? Solid. You know what I mean? Rock with us. You know what I mean? But you in this in-between phase where you trying to figure out if, you know what I'm saying, if, you know, you making the right decision and shit based on, you know, public information and shit, when all you got to do is cross-reference it. All you got to do is, a simple Google search will show you what you really want to know and shit, but y'all really don't want to know what's going on. That's apparent. You mean? I had somebody the other day that was like, yo, I just really just want to sit in my little kid bubble and just not know what's going on and just not know what's going on. Yeah. Little white girl, too. I'm like, bruh. This motherfuckers like her is the reason why we in this fucking problem. On some real shit. You know what I mean? There's little motherfuckers like her that got us all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. You know what I mean? Because what the fuck is our parents doing? What the fuck, like, who is mentoring this little girl? Like, that's why my ultimate goal for this show is to essentially create a habitat for our fellow civilians and shit. I want to create like a rec center where kids can come learn how to be music engineers and be producers and make beats and fucking, you know, inspire themselves with rap music or R&B or country, whatever. They have a studio in there and shit where they can sign up and make a day and take a turn and, you know what I'm saying, and learn how to be what they want to become and shit, and like teach them how to do fucking TV studios and shit. I know how to do TV studios. I just don't put myself on TV because I don't want that fucking harassment. You know what I'm saying? Niggas like, yeah, you know, I'm going to do a video podcast. That's great. You know what I'm saying? Why I don't do a video podcast? Because I don't want to be fucking harassed. You understand? I don't want to be fucking harassed. You mean niggas hate the shit I'm talking about. Even some of my own folks hate the shit I'm talking about because they don't want to face the harsh reality of it being true. You know what I'm saying? So they feel as though if they don't listen to it and they don't hear me, then the problem will never arise, but the problem is within them. You understand? So essentially, not only does the problem arise, but the problem is going to come up out of you and take you out. You know what I'm saying? When you could have been combating the problem the whole time by detoxing or metal detoxing or attempting to, get some, vitamins, minerals, clean substances and shit in your fucking body and shit, fluids, all that shit. You know what I mean? To clean your fucking body out, bro. But a lot of y'all motherfuckers are just like, well, why so serious, Mr. P? And I'm like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Why so serious? Motherfucker, do you not see what's going on? Do you not see what's going on? Anybody? Y'all want to look around and answer the question? Please. Please, somebody tell me what's going on, please. You feel me? It's goofy shit. Goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? And, like, bro, I'm cooked, man. I'm cooked. Like, I really appreciate y'all coming through. I really appreciate y'all holding me down in your part of time. I really appreciate y'all being real and shit. You know what I'm saying? It really gets no better than, you know what I'm saying, having the opportunity to, reach out to y'all and then y'all reach out to other people and shit. Like, this is a habitat. This is a town square. You know what I mean? Where we can come discuss the real problems of... And think about that. I just did a sex podcast, and then I turned around, and I'm doing something extremely serious. You understand what I'm saying? I got people listening to my sex podcast right now. They listening to the sex podcast. They can't wait. You know what I'm saying? They banging that joint right now. That shit's spinning. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, it just dropped like fucking 10 minutes ago. I guarantee you already 10 people listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people care about the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? And since I'm in a lane where I have the opportunity to talk about multiple things, I could make a mechanic podcast, for real. I can make a sportsman's podcast, hunter's podcast, fucking outdoorsmen's fucking the unit artists, you know what I'm saying, music, or the like fucking producer, engineer podcast. Like, I can literally I can do 200,000 shows. You know what I'm saying? And switch between the character of that show. You feel me? But think about how much, brain power that takes. Most people can't even be theyself all day, let alone be theyself plus 2 additional characters and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm on here acting and shit, but I gotta get into a certain mindset in order to do these types of things. You feel me? So, personally, I don't want to sit here all fucking night, and it's already 10:30. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the fucking show started and shit. Yes, I said it. I'm going to get the motherfucking show started. USDA approves new Franken food made by splicing pig genes into soybeans. Wow. What the fuck? The Department of Agriculture has approved piggy soy, a new kind of soybean that has the protein genes pig spliced into its DNA. And the approval will allow the company to plant and transport these new soybeans without permits. We believe the milestone set the stage for a revolution in the food industrial biotech landscape, paving the way for more expedited adoption of molecular farming technology by other industry players, said the co-founder and CTO Martin Salinas. Molo announced the development of piggy soy in June last year as a part of the meat replacement program. Nigga, I told y'all they trying to get fucking rid of meat. Oh, Calvin! Its patent soybean contains genetics for the expression of the porcine myoglobin. The beans have a pink hull and will be sold whole rather than have the animal protein extracted from them and processed. What the fuck? Molek will market piggy soy as an alternative in the meat and products like sausages and burgers. What? The company plans to partner with other companies and may license its patent soybeans for use. Over $30 million in funding for R&D and scaling has been raised so far, and the company has secured a deal to supply 15,000 tonnage. So that's like tons of soybeans. It has a facility in Argentina which can crush 10,000 tons of soybeans annually and shit. Piggy soy will not be Molek's only product coming to market soon. The company is using a new technology. It's called SPC to make plants and miniature bioreactors that produce new compounds. The USDA already approved the GMO safflower oil named Glasso. Yeast and yellow peas are being used to produce animal protein, including bovine chymosin and bovine myoglobin. The announcement of the USDA approval of piggy soy caused the volume in Molek stock to increase by 121% last Monday. It was a significant reversal after the company's shares plunged from a high of $20 to less than $2.50. Before the announcement, the shares were trading at $1.40 and shit. Wow. Shit is crazy, man. Shit is bugged out. Got a InfoWars article InfoWars video with Alex Jones and shit. Y'all know that's my guy. Investigation into the origins of Satanism finds the bottom of the rabbit hole. We'll probably let this rock out for the remainder of this portion of segment 1. This is part 1 of segment 1 and shit. You know, they're a half hour a piece and shit. Then you got segment 2 with 2 parts and shit, half hour a piece. So we'll probably let this rock out for the remainder of segment 1 and shit, and then we'll take a gander into the second portion of segment 1. Let's do it.
If Satan had full control, where would he take us? Would he use us as slaves because we're so creative, or would he kill everybody?
I think the ultimate end of the rabbit hole, like you pointed out, is killing humanity. So because man's made in the image of God, there's a sort of an innate hatred for mankind. I think in Christianity, you know, because God took on human nature in the incarnation, that caused a real envy between the fallen spiritual forces and humanity. So they really seek to destroy mankind because they feel like that's subverting God's plan.
Exactly. Satan tries to deceive and go against free will, but God actually chose through free will to possess humanity if we choose it. That pisses Satan off because God created the angels to serve him, not to have free will, which is Satan's original thing. I want free will. I'm going against you. Why'd you just give them free will?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the temptation in Eden was to become like God, not through the means that God had. So God always had the intention to raise men up to higher and higher levels of being like him. We call that in Orthodoxy theosis. That's not the same thing as apotheosis like Crowley or the Satanists believe. But the temptation was to do this through the shortcut, through your own will, through your own way. And that's what leads to all of the chaos, the death, the destruction. And so there's a spiritual force behind this. And as we were talking about on Luke's podcast a couple days ago, the best explanation for what's going on in the world seems to be more than just human manipulation and deception. It seems like there's actually a spiritual reality behind this. That's a better explanation for everything going on than what we typically see.
Oh, absolutely. You can feel it. Jay, I think you're one of the smartest, most intelligent people in our movement. So thank you so much for providing all this data. Sorry, Alex, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want to get you both up as soon as you can do it, both of you. Let's do the Saturday shows explode because nobody's doing media then. So that, there's less audience, but less media. So it's always big, 5 million probably, just on our system, and a few more million on X. We should do a Saturday 3-hour deep dive of the nature of good and evil soon, commercial free. You can both be remote or you can fly in. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm there.
That's going to be some interesting shit right there, y'all. And the end of humanity as planned by the globalist leaders and shit. I mean, literally, they got a movie about this shit. Well, it's like a short film. Let's do it. $10 minutes. A warning to mankind. StopWorldControl.com.
Hi, can I ask you something? How would you like it if the government recorded everything you think, feel, and dream? And how would you like it if your life was completely controlled by us, humanoid robots? We would tell you who to marry, what to buy, and who to vote for. Do you think that is crazy? Think again. This is your future, designed by the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum says they designed the future of humanity. Let's listen to their ideas about your
flesh to
future.
robot. Wow.
I want to talk to you today about the future of our species and really the future of life. We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens. Within a century or two, Earth will be dominated by entities that are more different from us than we are different from Neanderthals or from chimpanzees. Because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. This will be the main products of the economy, of the 21st century economy. Not textiles and vehicles and weapons, but bodies and brains and minds. Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like?
Masters of the planet.
This will be decided by the people who own the data. Those who control the data control the future not just of humanity, but the future of life itself.
I will now let the director of this film continue. Bye-bye.
Yuval Noah Harari is an advisor to the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, and many other globalist organizations. He is powerfully pushed onto the world stage and is invited on TED Talks, CNN, night shows, science platforms all over the place. His books are being promoted by presidents, Bill Gates and Facebook. It's clear they want the world to hear Harari's vision for the future.
We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens. Earth will be dominated by entities that are more different from us than we are different from Neanderthals or from chimpanzees. We will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds.
Y'all hear this motherfucker? They about to engineer y'all, bro. Shit crazy.
One organization that's pushing Harari to the forefront more than others is the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum gathers thousands of the world's richest and most powerful under its wings. Billionaires, political world leaders, big pharma, big media, big tech. The World Economic Forum has more influence in our world than any other organization. Its founder is Klaus Schwab. He is also the mind behind the idea of creating a new species of cyborgs that will rule over humanity. His book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, is promoting this concept worldwide. They literally want to put an end to the original humanity. And initiate the birth of the age of cyborgs.
Not the birth of the age of cyborgs. Showing the matrix, basically. That's what's going to be. The algorithm is going to control what you're doing. The algorithm is going to be in control of what you're supposed to be able to have access to. What kind of job you can have. What kind of life you can live. From the algorithm.
The website of the World Economic Forum shows what else they are trying to accomplish. We can see global governance, which means they want to establish full control over everything that happens all over the world. They also want to establish internet governance, which means that they want to be the ones who determine what information is allowed online and what has to be censored. They also want to install worldwide digital IDs, which will be connected to vaccine passports, social credit scores, and a suffocating surveillance system, which
that's
will
already going into place.
Every and all.
It's already going into place. They tracking your purchases right now.
Totalitarian,
right now.
Dystopian control system, which will allow no escape for anyone, because it will be everywhere. In one post on the website Forbes.com, which is a very prominent website of the globalists, the World Economic Forum publicly makes a statement that even the thoughts, emotions and dreams of everyone living in the big cities will be recorded.
Some of y'all be thinking some real fucked up shit. Y'all really want y'all shit recorded?
That's how far they want to push their worldwide surveillance society. This article was written by Ida Auken, a young global leader of the World Economic Forum. She was strategically positioned as the Minister of the Environment in the government of Denmark. Now she's pushing aggressively for the development of smart cities, where this all-encompassing surveillance technology will be implemented. And the dreams, emotions and thoughts of everyone will constantly be recorded.
Dreams, thoughts, and emotions will be consistently recorded. Man, y'all niggas better fucking take heed, nigga.
Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Those who control the data control the future, not just of humanity, but the future of life itself.
Those who control the data. What's the data? It's that shit you paying top dollar for at AT&T. They learning you. You're figuring out who you
Former
are, what
President
makes you
Chile,
tick.
Sebastian
See, a
Piñera,
motherfucker like me, too
made
much
a
shit
public
makes me tick, so it'll be
statement
fucking
on
the
national
algorithm up.
television that 5G is not only able to read our thoughts, but that it can even insert thoughts and emotions into everyone. Talking about a dystopian nightmare.
La posibilidad que las máquinas puedan leer nuestro pensamiento e incluso
The
puedan
possibility that machines
insertar
can control your
pensamientos,
thoughts.
insertar
They can
sentimientos.
insert thoughts and insert
La
feelings.
tecnología 5G es
5G
un
will
cambio
change
aún
our
mayor en
lives
nuestras
more
vidas
than
de
we
lo que
are
han
previously
significado todas las
technologies in
tecnologías
this era.
anteriores en esta materia.
5G is not the only technology they will use to read our thoughts and emotions. Their officially promoted agenda is to transform all natural human beings into cyborgs, a symbiosis between man and machine. They claim this will enhance our lives and even give us superhuman abilities. And indeed it may do that to a certain extent. What they of course don't mention is that once you are hooked up to the cloud and are controlled by artificial intelligence, you lose every and all independence, autonomy and freedom. Then you
Just go look at that movie, look at that show uploaded and shit. Give you a prime example of how they just gonna control you on the next level. So we actually we're gonna let the joint run for like 5 more minutes.
You literally become a slave of a totalitarian digital surveillance network worldwide.
Crazy shit.
And there's no escaping, because once you have technological implants inside your body, it will be even easier for them to monitor you wherever you go, and to insert all kinds of commands into your body that will control you even beyond your awareness. You won't even notice it.
We've reached the point
What's that, John?
when we can
they got
hack
a show on
not
Netflix
just
about this shit.
computers. We can hack human beings and other organisms. Humans are now hackable animals. The whole idea that humans have, this,
He's
they
not calling
have
them
this
humans.
soul or
He's saying
spirit, and they have
humans.
free will,
This
and
nigga
nobody
not from
knows
here,
what's
bro.
happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will. That's over.
Do you
That's
realize
over.
what this man is actually saying? Keep in mind that he is being pushed to the forefront all over the world by social media, like Facebook, by Bill Gates, by Obama, CNN, science platforms, the financial world, etc. They insist that the world listens to this man.
Eventually, within 10 or 20 or 30 years, such algorithms could also tell you what to study at college and where to work and whom to marry and even whom to vote for.
So according to Harari, we should no longer listen to our heart, our intuition, our experience, our own senses, but we should allow artificial intelligence to determine who to marry and who to vote for. This means a total takeover of the human soul, spirit, mind, and our entire life by robots.
After thousands of years, during which humans were the rulers of the world, authority and power will shift away from humans to computers. And most humans will become economically useless and politically powerless. Already today, we are beginning to see the creation of a new class of humans. The useless class.
The useless class. He talking about you. Folks, he talking about you. He's saying you useless. Y'all cool with that shit? Nigga. You know what? I'm going to just leave it right there and shit, let y'all think about it and shit. If y'all want to watch that whole thing and shit, slide over to InfoWars, type in the end of humanity as planned by the global leaders and shit. It's actually on the expose and shit, but InfoWars is carrying it and shit. Very deep shit, very interesting shit, and I think y'all should really check it the fuck out. But continuing, Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan are blown away by the many shocking predictions of Alex Jones. Now, it might look like I'm a Alex Jones dick riding motherfucker and shit. And that may be true. But that nigga saved my fucking life. And in turn, I saved some of y'all's and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's really not any individual saving your life and shit. It's just giving you the life-saving information that give you the ability to make the proper decision when the times come. You know what I'm saying? And that's all we really doing and shit. So when y'all say, oh, I don't want to make him popular, I'm not going to make him rich, I'm not a fan of him, just remember, you just really hurting yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to do nothing that God don't want me to do. This shit is all a download, bro. It's not my idea. Got this shit from God, bro. You know what I mean? Don't be fucking mad at me and shit. I'm the messenger, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the internet personalities touch on how Alex Jones has been so accurate for decades and shit. And it's completely true. Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan are blown away by the many times shocking predictions were accurate by Alex Jones. Let's go.
I have to say, your willingness to platform or to have a conversation with Alex Jones, I think was a revolutionary act, actually. Not that everything Alex Jones says is right. It's not. Not everything I say is right or anyone says is right. But Alex Jones is an interesting person. And even if he's not interesting, he has been walled off from the rest of us through name calling. And your willingness to be like, no, actually, we're just going to listen to Alex Jones and you can decide for yourself.
Well, Alex has been my friend for more than 20 years.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure you have other friends you haven't invited. And just like, you were not allowed to talk to him. And when you hear Alex Jones talk, you definitely understand why they told you couldn't listen to Alex Jones.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I had him as one of the first guests when I came over to Spotify.
Love that.
I was like, let's go.
What did they say?
Well, a lot of people weren't happy. We lost sponsors. It was an issue. But I think it did the job. And one of the reasons why he's gone through some issues is because that guy is uncovering real shit that's terrifying every fucking day. When you see so many lies and so much propaganda and so many psyops that are being done on people, you start seeing them where they don't exist. And that's what he did.
Well, and he's also channeling some stuff. You can't call 9/11 in detail because you're super informed.
Before the fact.
He called it.
Yes.
He literally called it. In the summer of 2001, he said planes will fly into the World Trade Centers and they will blame a man called Osama bin Laden.
We know the government was terrorism. We know Oklahoma City and World Trade Center was terrorism. We know the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanted to blow up airliners. If you do it, we're going to blame you because we know who's up to it. Or if you let some terrorist group do it, like the World Trade Center, we know who to blame. If any terrorism comes, it's from this government. And if there was an outside threat like a bin Laden, who was a known CIA asset in the 80s during the Mujahideen War, whose family builds all the military bases over in Saudi Arabia right now and sits on the board of Iridium Satellite. He's the boogeyman in this Orwellian phony system.
We know that he said that because he said it on tape multiple times. And then he said, call the White House and tell them this.
Now I'm going to put the call out that you call the White House and tell them, look, we've seen the news stories that you've wanted to blow things up, that you have blown things up, and that we're aware of who the terrorists are if you pull this. This can stop this Hitlerian Reichstag event.
He's channeling something.
You think
That's
so?
super. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There's like no other. I mean, tell me how he did it otherwise. I've asked him about it. How did you do that? At length, he had dinner in my barn recently. We were talking about this. How'd you do that? I don't know. It just came to me. And that's real. And that's not a new phenomenon. It's happened throughout history. There are people called prophets. And there are people who were prophets who weren't called prophets, but there are people who have information or parts of information, bits of information, visions of information come to them, and then they relay it. It's not from them. They received it. This is like one of the oldest phenomena in human history. So those people tend to be a little crazy, a little imbalanced, a little different from everybody else. Do you know what I mean? They live on locusts and honey in the wilderness. I mean, that's just like they're not like everybody else. And that's clearly part of what – I'm not saying that everything that Alex Jones says is a prophecy from God. It's not. But that was prophetic. And if it wasn't, tell me how it wasn't. In July of 2000 – like I lived in Washington in July of 2001. You know, my dad worked in the government. Like I was as well informed as anybody could be about what was going on in the government. I've always been interested in what's happening in other countries. I was aware of Osama bin Laden. I knew about the Taliban. I knew, more than most people. There's not one person who was saying, not one person in Washington, D.C. was saying, at some point soon, they may fly airplanes into the World Trade Centers and blame Osama bin Laden. Like, that just wasn't a thing. So if you said that multiple times on camera, there's a reason. I've said this to 50 people, what I just said to you, and they all look at me like, yeah, that's stupid. Tell me how it's stupid. Like, tell me how he did that. Like, that's impossible, actually.
He didn't just do it with that either.
No, I'm aware.
He's done it with a lot of things.
Today, in 2002, there is a tyrannical organization calling itself
the New World
Order, pushing for worldwide government, a cashless society, open borders, total and complete tyranny.
The Rockefeller study envisions future dictatorship controlled by elite, millions being killed, mandatory quarantines, checkpoints, and the forced vaccines, and the hell we're already living in that's just going to continue to intensify until we take our governments back. You're not going to be able to go to the ball games anymore. You're not going to be able to just go out and get drunk with your friends. You're not going to be able to just go out and enjoy yourself all the time. Read what these monsters are planning for you. A bioweapon release could be the thing they'd release to bring in a world government to counter a global problem. And the UN has said that a global pandemic is the only thing that may save their world government. It may not be this year, but this is the globalist plan. So if you start seeing a bunch of people die in China, and you see it, 1,000 dead, 100,000 dead, and then by the time you hear it's 100,000 dead, it'll be here on these airplanes, and you won't have anywhere to go.
Alex Jones called this years ago. Years ago.
Looking at a giant war in February right now, I predict the Russians are going to roll in. They're already there. They're going to roll in.
With attacks across Ukraine, which is the size of Texas.
And I believe Tucker, he's hardcore, he's awake. The left admits it. I predict he won't be at Fox News in the near future. I'm going to leave it at that. By the way, Fox News needs Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson doesn't need Fox News.
There continues to be reaction to the bombshell news that Tucker Carlson, the highest-rated personality on Fox News, has been fired.
We're here with the world's most dangerous man, the most censored man in the English language, Alex Jones.
Yeah, I mean, it's so true, folks. That's exactly why we put so much stock into what this man has to say, because we know for a motherfucking lightning fact that he's right, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of you motherfuckers don't want to face the motherfucking music. Y'all want to, fall in line with the rest of us and shit, you know what I'm saying? Y'all would rather, play yourself to the utmost, you know what I mean? But that's cool. Keep doing your thing. Keep letting it not hang and not swing and shit, you know what I'm saying? I really don't, you know what I mean? I really don't know what the situation. I'm getting all these texts about fucking Craken Time. This is a podcast right now. And shit, they coming in hot. They're like, yo, this is a good show. So I think we hit a jackpot, folks. But lefty losers, Joe Biden pulls another Ron Burgundy after reading the auto cues and shit. Oh my God. Not again, Joe. Joe. Not again, Joe.
Now it's time.
And this is the sad part. It's niggas from OT. It's across the fucking pond and shit. These niggas is grinding us to fuck up. It's just, it's insane.
Time for lefties losing it. And President Biden has been at it again. He's pulled another Ron Burgundy, reading everything in the auto cue, including instructions like pause.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years.
No, Joe, you don't read out the instructions. But look at the official White House transcript of that speech where they claim what he said was inaudible. We all heard it. He said, pause.
4 more years.
Pause.
Pause. 4 more years.
And that wasn't the only Biden gaffe.
In a sense, I don't know why we're surprised by Trump. How many times does he have to prove we can't be trusted?
How many times does he have to prove they can't be trusted?
Now, Joe, you cannot be trusted.
Hear this nigga?
Why we're surprised?
He said, "How many times do he have to prove we can't be trusted?" What?
By Trump. How many times does he have to prove we can't be trusted?
Oh, I think he's well and truly proved it by now, Joe. You cannot be trusted. Now to a drag queen who is indoctrinating young children, not just about trans activism, but pro-Palestinian causes. I have no idea how this is real.
Today what we're going to do is we're going to shout, Free Palestine. Can I hear that? Free Palestine! If you're a drag queen and you know it, shout, Free Palestine! If you're a drag queen and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're a drag queen and you know it, shout, Free Palestine! Excellent.
Just one bit of advice for that drag queen. Do not try that in Palestine, Gaza or the West Bank, because you would not last 5 minutes. And that advice goes to this next dude as
faster
well.
than I can drive my car.
I stand in deep solidarity and grief with everyone here as we feel in our bodies the layered, ongoing colonial violences of the transatlantic slave trade in multiple indigenous
How is a
genocides.
white person talking about the transatlantic slave trade? Like, stop playing.
Made Yale University and many other universities and colleges possible as a capitalist necropolitical machine.
I do wonder whether they know why they're pro-Palestinian activists, because these Ivy League students have no idea.
The main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU's doing.
Is there something that NYU's doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU's doing? About what? About Israel. Why are we protesting here at NYU?
They don't fucking know.
Educated. I'm not either. I came from Columbia. I was there up at Columbia and we came down. They said NYU students needed our support. So I came down. I heard there's lots of cops. Some people were saying it was getting dangerous.
Yeah, you need a lot
So
more
they don't
education.
even know why
a
they're
lot
there,
more
bro.
education than a college charging $70,000 US a year can impart. I'll have to speak to Ami Horowitz about that later in the program. Well, they may not be learning any critical thinking skills or any pertinent facts at these universities, but look at what they are learning. These students protesting via the medium of dance and strings.
Wasting their fucking time. Wasting they wrapping themselves up in fucking yarn
in 2024. That should not surprise any of us. Now, earlier this week, we brought you footage of Alec Baldwin dealing with a pro-Palestinian activist, and today, that activist who calls herself Crackhead Barney is making news around the world because, of this appearance on Piers Morgan's program. And just a warning, this clip may shock you.
My diaper today for you, Pierce. Do you like it?
Do you want to sit down?
Do you see the damage that Alec did to me? Do you see the damage? Look at my arm.
No, you weren't maimed by Alec Baldwin on Monday, were you?
I was maimed.
No, you weren't.
My hand is broken. My neck is broken.
No, it's not.
My leg. Look at my leg. Don't do this to me, Pierce. It's too early in the morning, Pierce. Pierce, it's too early.
I wish I could say it ended there, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll shut up for you.
I absolutely believe that Palestine should be free. Yes.
Oh, okay. And how are we going to do that, Pierce? Give us the answers, Pierce Morgan. Alec Baldwin. Look at me. Pierce, honestly. Pierce, look at my body. Look at this.
Got on a trash bag for drawers.
Pierce, I was maimed by a white man.
Yep, there's plenty more where that came from. Tomorrow night, 9:30 on Sky News, an entire program devoted to lefties losing it.
Lefties losing it. Is it funny that everybody has appropriated my lefty loser slogan? I mean, on some real shit. I feel like I'm really the one that started that shit. And then everybody appropriated that shit. I get no credit for that shit. No credit. Biden voters brags illegals are coming here. They're going to vote Democrat and we're going to win. And you know he's softer than drugstore cotton and
I
shit.
believe Biden's going to win in a landslide. Lowest unemployment in 60 years, baby. What about inflation? You have any questions about inflation? Inflation's going down. Actually, it's going up. It's going down. Gas prices are down. Gas prices are down. Inflation is down. Coke, seed.
Why is the Fed then raising rates? How many illegals are coming across the border every day?
A lot.
So about 10 to 15,000 a day. Do you think Joe Biden...
And they're all going to vote Dem.
You're okay. Can you say that again?
The illegals? Well, illegals. Yeah, they're coming here. They're going to vote Democrat, and we're going to win.
Wow.
So you are
That's
admitting
gaslighting, bro.
so you're admitting the border is a political tactic by the Democrat Party. Joe Biden is opening the floodgates of this country because he wants to hold on to political power. We've been saying this for a long time. Proof. You just admitted it. What is he doing to secure the border? When you have 15,000 people a day coming across your southern border,
who cares?
that is not a mistake.
Who cares?
But who cares? Do you believe in borders?
I believe that... No borders, no. One world government.
One world. He's
and
he did
final fix for
antagonize
Joe Biden. No borders, lots of war, more spying, and bankrupt the country.
He's still going to win.
You guys might win an election, but that will be the death of America if that is the case.
Stupid. He's a fucking stupid fuck. He's like, yeah, but we're still gonna win. 500,000 illegals caught on Arizona ranch. Wow. Yeah.
Welcome to Bisbee, Arizona, home of John Ladd's 16,000-acre cattle ranch, which shares a 10-mile stretch of border with Mexico. Every day, John comes out to see if any fences are cut, if cattle are missing, or if a water pipe has been damaged. This is the reality of living on the southern border, where illegal aliens cross his property daily. Ladd's residence is a mere 1.25 miles from the border, and while he is not afraid of living on his ranch, the gravity of the situation doesn't escape him. We take care of our own safety. That's the reality here, he told us.
These monuments are line of sight. They start in Texas and go to the ocean, and they're numbered. This is 92, and that's going east to west. And the Boundary Commission has to come certify them every year, and they're using GPS coordinates now and satellites. And the worst case scenario, they're 4 inches off. And they make it a big deal, but that's a Hidalgo treaty requires it to be certified every year that the border hadn't moved. Different perspective, this is quite an engineering feat, a lot of steel and a lot of concrete, and it makes a statement. But the only way that it'll work is if we patrol it. And the only way that patrolling is going to work is if you have consequences when you got caught coming into this country illegally. And this wall eliminates any misunderstanding that you're trespassing. If you climb an 18 or a 30-foot wall, you're in the U.S. So let's cut out, I didn't know where I was at. And I can prosecute an American citizen for trespassing, but not an illegal. And that's a fact. And that's nationwide on the border. And the excuse is that they don't have enough courts and lawyers and judges to prosecute them. Well, something needs to be done because they're
But you got enough to
that's
prosecute
my big deal
Americans.
is private property right. That's what the whole trespassing Mexican cattle and people was what I started my mission on. And cattle are worse than people because if they have diseases, I'm out of business coming in from other countries besides Mexico. But it's evolved into the people deal. And Border Patrol's caught 500,000 people on our ranch in 30 years. So it's every day, even during Trump, which that was the best it's ever been. But how would you like to have 500,000 people come through your backyard? That's wrong. That's completely against anything in America and our values.
Due to the high traffic and remote terrain in this area, Border Patrol has deployed a tethered aerostat radar system balloon that monitors the border from the sky. This balloon can be seen near Mr. Ladd's ranch.
Well, this is a genuine carpet shoe.
What do they use this for, John?
Put your shoe in that, wrap it up, you don't leave tracks.
You see these on your property sometimes?
Well, I just got it right there.
Oh, I thought you kept it for us.
No. They're everywhere.
Carpet shoe found here on the ranch. Mr. Ladd says this is a daily occurrence. You can see this is factory made. They make this in Mexico, it looks like. Again, the bottom texture here is so that they don't have any tracks as they're moving through the area.
What they're using an 18-foot ladder and a rope here, and they cut the razor wire from the south side off the ladder. The illegals climb up to the top, then come over and then rope down. But all of the scuff marks at the top, and then all of the rust being brushed off of the ballards where they're sliding down. That's the most obvious sign besides the wire cut. But it really sticks out when the sun's up, and it's shiny. And so that's what Border Patrol did. Well, they had a group come through here.
Further down on John Ladd's ranch, you can see behind me the Trump wall. Much more impressive than the prior wall that President Obama had built. No concertina wire here, and Mr. Ladd tells us that they can still climb this at 30 feet. He has seen ladders, and we'll show you that footage here. Ladders, they come up to it, they throw it across, and they can still cross here.
This is where the illegals cut the ballard in the Trump wall. And every one of those splice plates is where they've repaired it. And then up above, those are the dates. The first cut was 2/12 of 24, or not, and then 2/20 of 24, 2/26 of 24, 2/27 24, 3/5 of 24. The reason, and then there's another one right there. But the reason they keep coming back to the same spot is the cameras can't see it. There isn't a lot of Border Patrol patrolling. But you can never regrout the concrete and everything. It's a weaker ballard. So they keep on coming back and just whacking on it every time.
So we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 cuts?
Yeah.
Over the course of a month?
Yeah,
a month and a half?
Yeah, 2/12 to 3/5.
Okay. Now, if they cut this, just for fun, get myself in this shot a little bit here. I can fit through this pretty readily. You just go sideways. As of April, Tucson sector led the way with over 342,000 encounters in fiscal year 2024. As illegal migration flows shift away from Texas, those who live in other border states, like John Ladd, are finding their situations are worsening.
And it's fucked up because our government ain't doing shit but telling them niggas to keep coming. You know what I mean? So they just getting the bad end of the stick. You already know. I'm going to come back on the other side with even more of this shit. Don't move your motherfucking switch. It's your boy. Hey, Trump, are you the MAGA king?
Mega MAGA, Ultra MAGA, MAGA King. We gotta stop the MAGA King. I'm the MAGA King. Mega MAGA, Ultra MAGA, MAGA King. Get the FBI loaded up. I'm the MAGA King. I had a great relationship with President Cheese, now President for life. I call him King. He says, no, I am not King. I'm the MAGA King. You know what MAGA stands for? Make America Great Again. Unfortunately, we have so many bad things happening to our country, we can't celebrate until we start winning 22, which is a few days. We're going to win in 24. We're taking back that beautiful house. I'm the MAGA King. These guys come at you left and right on such bullshit. You've never seen anything like it. And essentially, they don't want to say this, but they said Trump was 100% right. The election was rigged and stolen, and we're not going to let it happen again. Mega MAGA, Ultra MAGA, MAGA King. We gotta stop the MAGA King. I'm the MAGA King. Mega MAGA, Ultra MAGA, MAGA King. Get the FBI loaded up. I'm the MAGA King. Did anybody here don't have the courage in this group to admit it. We're long gone from socialism. We're into communism. The only thing they do well is misinformation. It was Russia, Russia, Russia. Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. And then the Mueller witch hunt where the conclusion was no collusion. Do you think Biden could say that? The conclusion was no collusion. You think Biden's going to get that? Come on, man. He violated a document. He's violated. Every other president takes their documents. I'm the only one. I can't have a document, but everyone else, they got them all over the place. They have them in Chinese restaurants and bowling alleys. You know that, right? But it's okay for them, but not for Trump. MAGA, MAGA, Ultra MAGA, MAGA King. We gotta stop the MAGA King. I'm the MAGA King. And I'm gonna ask a man who's a great man, actually, Kenneth Copeland, to come up and say a prayer.
Well, it's about time. By covenant, this nation belongs to God. Therefore, voting is a sacred trust. And if you don't vote, hush. I was in Jerusalem, where the American embassy is on Donald Trump Avenue. Oh, I like that. I've lived through a lot of presidents. This is the only one I have ever seen that wears red, white, and blue. That's the reason I copied his suit. I copied his suit. That's the reason I copied his suit. I copied his suit. Our first president opened his Bible at the 17th chapter of Genesis, and he bowed his knee, and he said,
I'm the MAGA King. MAGA, MAGA, Ultra MAGA, MAGA King. We gotta stop the MAGA King. I'm the MAGA King. MAGA, MAGA, Ultra MAGA, MAGA King. Get the FBI loaded up. I'm the MAGA King.
And we back. Yep, we back. Biden's America. 40% of renters think they'll never own a home, up from 27% last year. So sad. Bidenomics 101, the American dream of owning a home has become the American nightmare for almost half of the U.S. population. As housing specialist Redfin reports, rising home prices and mortgage rates are making it harder to believe in the American dream of home ownership. Lack of accountability is the most commonly cited reason renters don't believe they'll ever own a home. The details are dire. Nearly 2 in 5 Americans, 38%, renters, don't believe they'll ever own a home, up from roughly a quarter, 27%, a year ago and shit. You know what I'm saying? This is according to a Redfin Commission survey of roughly 3,000 U.S. residents conducted by Qualtrics in February 2024. The report focused on 1,000 respondents who indicated they are renters. And the relevant question, do you believe you'll ever own a home in the future? Which of the following reasons are likely to purchase a home in the near future? 27% in comparison said they don't think they'll ever own a home. Lack of accountability is prevailing reason renters believe they're unlikely to become homeowners. Nearly half, 44% of renters who don't believe they'll buy a home in the near future said it's because available homes are too expensive. The next most common obstacle, ability to save for a down payment, 35%, ability to afford the payments, 33%, are high mortgage rates, 32%, roughly 1 in 8, 14% simply aren't interested in owning a home, which is terrible. That's horrible. It's actually horrible. You mean? And that's all thanks to Joe Biden. Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? You got the Joe Biden. The Joe Bidens is, and you know, y'all getting exactly what y'all signed up for. I ain't signed up for this shit, but yet, for some reason, I'm getting a bulk of the bullshit in my motherfucking life. Some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Some motherfucking bullshit. Biden's surgency, top 6 ways to prevent the Democrats from stealing the November POTUS election and shit. Natural news. The New World Order, as George H.W. Poppy Bush put it, in the full effect right now. And these Satanists want the Republic of the United States to look like a godforsaken banana republic as soon as possible. If you believe this is some kind of wild conspiracy theory, then you may not want to stop gulping the fake news Kool-Aid and try some unfiltered water instead. First off, there is no way sleepy, creepy Joe Biden received 80 million votes after their lackluster campaign that involved about a dozen stops in high school auditoriums with about 15 paid goons sitting in COVID-friendly circles with their face in diapers. You know what I'm saying? Which is absolutely true, because that's bullshit. The U.S. is now 3.5 years deep into the Biden insurgency, where communists run the corrupt polls, news, military, D.C. gulags, and election deniers. The insurgency of Washington's D.C. by the CCP puppet was carefully orchestrated well in advance of the 2020 fake election to overthrow presidential hopeful Donald Trump. Like never before in the Republic, the president was so rich himself he had no desire to need or embezzle billions or trillions of dollars through big government, the military-industrial complex, or even big pharma. Sure, Trump pushed the COVID vaccines, which he did, and that shit was preposterous. Why the fuck would you do some dumbass shit like that? You feel me? The majority of Americans, including the majority of conservatives, believe the vaccines are good for health safety, not the other way around. Or over 270 million Americans roughly roughed out to get the jab with the most dangerous injections ever created, and the millions are suffering the consequences, which is true. I know somebody that's having like seizures and shit, but they don't want to admit it to themselves as the COVID jab. The pandemic was eventually a justifiably nicknamed the pandemic and the scamdemic, as it assisted the biggest election still in the history of the world. Have no doubt the demon Democrats are planning to repeat. They aim to increase and propagate the Biden insurgency of communists in Washington, D.C. and across the country come November. And this may just be the final election ever for the Banana Republic of the United States of America. But wait, there's more. It's not too late. You can step up with all other conservatives, independents, Republicans, libertarians, and also anyone else who isn't too dumbed down with clot shots, fluoride, and canola oil. Here's how we can prevent the big 2024 steal the Democrats are planning. Top 6 ways we can stop the steal this November before it's too late. 1, denounce Pandemic 2. That's sure to be sweeping the nation and the world in the next 6 months. Have thousands of legitimate poll watchers oversee and count the votes in November. Get out and vote Republican across the board while praying the rhinos don't take over. Too many Americans think their vote won't matter, but it matters a lot. Make it tougher. It's a total red landslide for the left to cheat it. Get your smart devices out and video record any and all shady dealings. Soros paid leftist criminals, dropping more than one ballot in the drop box at a time. Vote against any legislation that helps allow illegal immigrants to vote in our American elections, because they are likely to vote for free stuff, not constitutional rights. Do not support the fake pandemics. This is number 6 that helped the left cheat on election day and night, and they kicked out conservative poll watchers claiming COVID safety. Meanwhile, mailing in about 40 million fake votes manufactured by the CCP and the New World Order and shit. That's how we can stop the steal in 2024. Fake news. MSNBC Morning Joe melts down after reporter is heckled by being called fake news. MSNBC Morning Joe received a healthy dose of reality Thursday during its coverage of former President Donald Trump immunity case. NBC News correspondent Ken Delaney was explaining the latest developments of Trump presidential immunity case in front of the Supreme Court when a heckler disrupted the segment and repeatedly shouted, "Fake news!"
And by not taking it on an expedited basis, sort of taking it under regular order here, they've already created a significant delay here that means that this election case, however they rule, can't go to trial probably before the fall. And now we come to exactly what they're considering here, which is the question of whether a president has absolute immunity. And then there's a second question here, which is whether anything that Donald Trump is accused of would actually constitute a presidential act implicated in the immunity question.
Just making sure you're okay. Is everything okay?
What you going to do,
It's fine. We have a heckler here outside the Supreme Court.
I've got to say, they obviously have been following the David Pecker testimony. They're yelling fake news, and they obviously want viewers to know that Donald Trump lied about JFK's assassination, tried to blame Ted Cruz. He's yelling fake news also because Donald Trump lied along with David Pecker.
That's not why he's yelling fake
together
news. You making
to lie
that up.
about Ben Carson, to lie about Hillary Clinton. Fake news all around. So I want to thank him for actually
framing it
for us. We want to make sure you're okay, but also we want everybody watching to know that person screaming fake news, obviously talking about all the lies that Donald Trump perpetrated about Hillary Clinton and all of his opponents in 2020. Go ahead.
That is not true, bro. Now, that's what we call fake news. That was literally the equivalent of Let's Go Brandon. Literally the equivalent of Let's Go Brandon. Crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Crazy shit. Andrew Malinikin, fake news guy is awesome. We need everyone to do this anytime they see the talking heads. Asylum, Justin Villamore. Joe Scarborough is totally screeching because someone has the balls to call MSNBC out on what they really are exactly. Stella X, MSNBC deserves all that's coming to them, which is absolutely true. We are here for it. Yep, yeah, absolutely. Literally no one believes MSNBC anymore and shit. Hillary Clinton claims Trump will establish a dictatorship. Yeah, he gonna lock up everybody that tried to lock him up. And I don't see anything wrong with it.
We haven't talked much about the international arena, but, his bromance with Putin, and it was actually called that, I think, by the former Prime Minister of Australia, who said he saw Trump with Putin, and Trump was like, just gaga over Putin, because Putin does what he would like to do. Kill his opposition, imprison his opposition.
That's what you do, bitch.
Drive, journalists and others into exile.
Of reality is
rule
like
without any check or balance. That's what Trump really wants. And so we have to be very conscious of how he sees the world, because in that world, he only sees strongmen leaders. He sees Putin. He sees Xi. He sees Kim Jong-un in North Korea. Those are the people he is modeling himself after.
But then you ask Kim Jong, then you ask
you about what's happening now.
Xi Jinping to help you cheat in our election, to help you become the motherfucking president. But bitch, now all of a sudden you don't like Xi Jinping and shit. Fuck out of here, you hoe ass bitch.
The Alex Jones Show. So we have massive branding all over the news and all these Netflix shows and big budget movies, Civil War. And I go see the Civil War movie last week, weeks after it's out. Oh, it's nonpartisan. Oh, you know who the bad guys are. All the bad guys are white. The president's Trump. The multiracial army goes and kills the white devil. I mean, it was ridiculous. The mainstream media is the heroes. It was disgusting. And it's getting you ready. And the Democrats are actually saying, once he gets in, we're taking control of the military and we're going to block him from being a fascist dictator. I actually sent I posted on X today, but I don't think I gave it to the crew. Trump in a Saturday Night Live piece 15 years ago with people dancing around like chickens acting silly. And I said, oh, yeah, looks like dictator material to me. He went in there and had a coup against him and all the attacks and didn't early on fire the bad guys and got run over. They're the ones that have weaponized the IRS and big tech and all the rest of it against the people. And then Hillary Clinton comes out
with the moral high ground.
Over again, but she did it again. We'll play a clip in a moment. And said Trump is going to be a dictator if he gets back in.
He always said, I'm going to be
well,
dictator
the truth
for
is he needs to fire every U.S. attorney like Bill Clinton did. He did it for evil. Trump did it for good. That's the president's power. He needs to put people that don't work for Soros in. He needs to go after them because they've gone after us and they were the initiators and they're the bad guys. We need congressional hearings about the IRS, congressional hearings about big tech. We need to prosecute the people that did this stuff. But Trump's even said, well, I'm not planning to go after him when I get in. Well, they fear he'll do that because they're going to go after him. So we didn't ask for this fight, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, there's the chicken video. In fact, cue it up. Let's play it in a minute. Go ahead and roll. This is the guy that wants to be a dictator. Here it is.
Join me at Donald Trump's House of Wings. Trump, you know our wings will make you happy. Trumpy, you know our wings will fill you up. Trump, if you want a place with awesome chicken wings, yeah. Donald Trump's House of Wings.
Trump wings.
Am I saying I'm a chicken wing expert? No. But I can tell you this. The wing is hands down the best part of the chicken. Better than the head, better than the torso, better than the back.
All right, so let's stop right there.
Donald Trump's House of Wings.
They've taken this off their DVDs. They've taken it off online. They've taken it out of their archives. Saturday Night Live does not want to show him as a person. And a bunch of movies that had Trump in them have edited out or are saying they're going to edit out, like Home Alone, cameos he did. Okay, so that's the guy that wants to be a dictator. Yeah, right. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton says, I came, I saw, he died. Gaddafi, all of it. Fun of the Arab Spring, everything. Here's the headline. Hillary Clinton believes second Trump term will be like having a dictator. But that's everything they've already done, a dictatorial system. You don't have one dictator. You have an oligarchy. You have a bureaucracy. You have a group at war with the people. Here it is.
I think we haven't talked much about the international arena, but, you know, his bromance with Putin, and it was actually called that, I think, by the former Prime Minister of Australia, who said he saw Trump with Putin, and Trump was like, you know, just gaga over Putin, because Putin does what he would like to do. Kill his opposition, imprison his opposition, drive, you know, journalists and others into exile, rule without any check or balance. That's what Trump really wants. And
that's
so
what you really want.
We have to be very conscious of how he sees the world, because in that world, he only sees strongmen leaders. He sees Putin. He sees Xi.
You
he
see
sees
yourself.
Kim Jong-un
You notice you say all strong
North
man
Korea.
Leaders. She wanted a strong
Those are the
woman.
people he
Fuck
is
outta here, bitch. You're not strong.
modeling
You're a
himself
maniac.
after. And
not
we've
strong.
been down this road
crazy.
in our, you know, world history. We sure don't want to go down.
So this is the woman that we get the word Arkansas from. This is the woman involved in all this oppression. And then Trump, there's none of it. Nobody attacked us and nobody went to war with us when Trump was in, because he went and talked to the leaders and respected them, but also said, if you make one wrong move, I'm going to blow your ass off. And massive transferring wealth back to America, making us the #1 oil producer, energy producer. I mean, you know what he did. He did a great job on the whole economic front. But there's Hillary saying he is going to be a dictator. So that's their excuse to steal another election. That's their excuse to surveil. That's the big part of censorship, is they have to surveil you and then censor you and have all these FBI and CIA teams go out and harass Trump supporters and indict members of Congress and do all this to suppress us, because if they don't, we're going to oppress them. No, we're not going to oppress you. But James Comey needs to be indicted. He testified more than 10 times. I've done compilations, we've covered it, that he was not involved in any leaking. And then when it came out that it was the head of the Political Science Journalism Bureau at a major university that he'd had more than 70 meetings with, that he gave the info to, who then leaked it, he said, well, I gave it to them to leak it. You know, in law and in racketeering and common sense, if John Gotti orders one of his captains to order one of his soldiers to kill somebody, John Gotti is guilty of murder one for premeditatedly ordering that hit. He's just as guilty or more so than the soldier that puts the bullets into somebody when they're getting out of their limousine going into a restaurant.
Absolutely.
Oh, James Comey ordered and went and had people put it out, but he's a good person.
Nah.
We need these people to be punished because they need to be afraid. What did Thomas Jefferson say? He said, when the government fears the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. I forget which way he said it. I pulled the Thomas Jefferson quote on tyranny.
It's the same thing.
Did he say when I think I got it right. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. And when the people fear the government, there's tyranny. But it doesn't matter. It goes the same way either way he said it. I don't remember exactly the quote, whether tyranny came, whether the government fears the people or the people fear the government first. But it's true. I mean, when the people fear the government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. Okay, there you go. So that's true.
Survival Shield X3. Now back and...
Man, that's real shit. Ultra real shit. Turns out all the college campuses is as I said and shit. Shit getting old at this point and shit. Yep, it's getting old. George Soros is behind all the college campuses protesting Hamas and shit. George Soros behind Hamas-directed college protests. They're protesting against Israel and shit for Palestine. Alex Jones break down how the billionaire leftist George Soros is once again behind another fucking uprising in the U.S., this time with the pro-Palestine protests sweeping across college campuses. You know he funding this shit. You know he funding it. It's like a no-brainer.
It's a clash of civilizations going on. So for those of you saying, oh, all the Islamic protesters are great, I don't think cameramen that the police shove into another cop at UT this week, Owen was down there, Owen Schroyer, I don't think that cameraman deserved to be arrested. But also, I don't like the Islamists going in and taking over the schools and businesses and beating people up. And checking people's IDs to see if they have a Jewish last name. That's terrible, too. You can have a tribal war going on,
the fuck the
and both sides can be
like
wrong.
That. They trashed him.
Like, that's more common than one side being good, one side being bad. But it's an existential crisis, and it's admitted that George Soros and the State Department are funding it. Headline, George Soros is paying student radicals who are fueling nationwide explosion of Israel-hating protests. You see, because it's a dialect. It's problem, reaction, solution.
Yes,
sir. Other networks lie to you about what's...
Problem, reaction, solution, all funded. It's just like how the U.S. is giving funding to Israel and Hamas at the same time. Funding both sides of the war is crazy.
The famous on-record high-level KGB defector, there's hours of him talking to G. Edward Griffin and others. We ought to do a whole special soon and just air hours of it and analyze it. There he is back in the 80s explaining the Soviet style of demoralizing people and breaking them down. But you look at the modern one, oh, it's way more sophisticated and more fancy. But if you're aware of all these tactics and see it and warn others and don't comply and are a light in the darkness, people will listen to you and we will exponentially refuse this system and reject this system. But you've got to understand it's all being rolled out, not for your convenience, but it's like a mousetrap with a little piece of cheese on it or a hook. You put a worm or a minnow on to catch a bass, and you're the bass. Now, nowhere is this illustrated better than the fact that Biden gave $6 billion to Iran in just one payment 29 days before they launched their operation into Israel via Hamas. And Iran has since bragged, and I've got a stack of articles on that they did the training of the troops and did it. And then when I post a video about that, I saw, oh, you're for Israel. Damn you, Iran never did anything wrong. You don't even know who the players are, and then Iran uses proxy armies. I'm not defending some of the things Israel's done. I'm stating facts there. And I don't like the Islamists teamed up with the left and the universities and them trying to block people going into the schools and trying to take them over. They have a right to protest, but not have encampments and block the way to people, and they don't have a right to attack police. But the larger issue is they're trying to create a clash of civilizations, and that's why the State Department and the federal government is bringing in all these radicals and all these Islamicists. It's why the U.S. military is building a giant pier in Gaza so that when Israel forces everyone out, which they've announced it's imminent, Israel says it's posed to move into Rafah any day now. They're coming here, and they're coming to Europe. So see the larger dialectic. I put out an X post last night simply pointing this out and showing, you know, Iranians and others admitting it. And people said, oh, well, that's someone captured by the Israelis. Don't believe them. I have a stack of articles here where Iran is bragging about it, and I'll show them to you. You're like, well, that's U.S. media. No, Iranian news. They said, you killed Soleimani. That's why we trained and did this. I mean, just admit that that's going on. Okay, so it's a clash of civilizations going on. So for those of you saying, oh, all the Islamic protesters are great, I don't think cameramen that the police shove into another cop at UT this week, Owen was down there, Owen Schroyer, I don't think that cameraman deserved to be arrested and roughed up. But also, I don't like the Islamists going in and taking over the schools and businesses and beating people up and checking people's IDs to see if they have a Jewish last name. That's terrible, too. You can have a tribal war going on, and both sides can be wrong. In fact, that's more common than one side being good, one side being bad. But it's an existential crisis, and it's admitted that George Soros and the State Department are funding it. Headline: George Soros is paying student radicals who are fueling nationwide explosion of Israel-hating protests. You see, because it's a dialect. It's problem, reaction, solution. Wild video of NYU protesters chasing and surrounding NYPD shows how out of control things are getting. Pro-Hamas students have taken over D.C. campuses. And I've got the videos where they're saying we're going to kill all the Jews and kill all Israel supporters. No one who supports Israel deserves to live. Iran-backed militias incite the raging pro-Hamas protest at universities and chant death to America. Police deployed tasers, rubber bullets, and tear gas against protesters at Emory University. Pro-Hamas protester who suggested murdering Jews responds, claims he's being victimized. Shocking. Pro-Hamas protest leader suggests murdering Jews while negotiating with Columbia officials. Pro-Hamas U.S. students lose the plot as Iran rap artist faces death sentence. Panic as automatic sprinklers soak Harvard anti-Israel encampment. They thought it was a police attack. They don't know what automatic sprinklers are. And it goes on and on and on. So, again, this is all part of the larger destabilization operation that is unfolding. Now, I mentioned Israel and how both sides are being funded. And people said, oh, both sides aren't being funded. Oh, okay, $22 billion or $23 billion to Israel, $62 billion to Ukraine, $9 billion to Gaza, which is run by Hamas. They are the government there. So that is funding both sides to keep the whole thing going. And a big floating bridge is being built to bring them to the West. Israel says it's poised to move on Rafah. Reuters. They say they're ready. They can move tomorrow or within the next month, but that they are preparing a tent city miles away to move the people to. But then they just keep moving them, and then they admit the plan is to finally move them after they've interrogated people and done Lord knows what inside the, quote, refugee camp. And then whoever's not dragged away to some Israeli dungeon, including children, will be brought here. And they're pissed off. U.S. military begins construction of pier off Gaza for complex and dangerous aid delivery mission, CNN. But it came out a month ago, State Department and Israeli documents, that the pier is going to bring them to Europe and the United States. And Netanyahu's already proposed it. They're so dangerous they can't stay there, but we should take them. And again, people that are totally pro-Islam will take clips out of context and say, I'm being pro-Israel. And people that are totally pro-Israel will take clips out of context about what the West is funding and the larger dialectic and say, I'm against Israel. No, I am trying to fairly talk about the real picture here. And people need to understand that there's a larger manipulation going on, and it needs to stop. And as Senator Paul has said, all the funding should be cut off to Ukraine, Israel, Hamas, all of them, because that is what is helping continue this on and on. Palestinian rescuers find signs of organ harvesting in Khan Yunis mass graves. Israel has been caught killing people and selling their organs, and it's gone on in Ukraine as well.
Just like in China.
Now, here's what I mentioned. And then in that post last night, I'd say a third of the posters were like, no, you're making it up. Iran has done nothing. They've never attacked anybody. You can go to Press TV, and we have. That's the official Iranian English global channel. Like RT is the Russian English channel, and Al Jazeera is the main Middle Eastern one in English. Iran's Revolutionary Guard, October 7th attack, and Israel's response to the assassination of Soleimani. Overhead shot. I want to show people these articles, please.
And you already know. You can definitely read more up on this and shit at civiliantalkpodcast.com. Or you can slide over to Infowars.com and shit. Breaking. Type it in, breaking. And then put George Soros behind Hamas-directed college protests. And you'll get the full story over there and shit. Breaking. More breaking news. Breaking: American reporter who infiltrated Epstein Island exposes the New World Order master plan. You gotta watch this shit. Luke Rudkowski of wearechange.org joins Alex Jones live in studio to discuss the triumphs of his video journalism in the info war. Let's do it.
I gotta say, though, once you get near the island, well, the water there is beautiful. Wow.
Oh, crap. This is Rudkowski of wearechange.org here with Jeff Berwick, the dollar vigilante, off yet another crazy, insane adventure, this time to Jeffrey Epstein's private island, Little St. James. And there's a lot of things we're going to have to get into in this video, but I don't even know where to begin. I mean, just even being here, it was difficult finding a boat operator. Jeff, just start it off from here.
Well, we were in the area, and we thought, no one's ever gone on this island. No one, no real media, no anyone really that I know of has ever gone on. We only get the information from the government and the mainstream media, and those are the two things you can never trust with information. So we're like, well, I guess we have to go and check this out and see if it's even real. For all we know, there might not be anything there. Like, it's always lies what they tell us. And for all we know, there could still be some activity going on there. Maybe Bill Clinton's there. Maybe Jeffrey Epstein's there. No one's looking into this. So we took it upon ourselves to, well, let's do it. But it wasn't easy. Most captains said they wouldn't take us to the island. There's there's all kinds of, you're in different countries on different islands, so we had to work our way around that, make sure we weren't doing too many illegal things all at once. And yeah, just rolling up to the island and actually seeing that temple, which is there, so we have verified that. This is a lot of verification of what is actually there. Was pretty surreal.
Yeah, and it was also kind of a little daunting, a little scary kind of going in there because, you know, in some jurisdictions you could just get shot and killed for going on private property. And this is, you know, someone that was extremely powerfully connected to presidents, prime ministers, royalty, and was able to evade law enforcement for some of the worst, most despicable acts in this world.
When you look at all the videos that we were doing, you look at all the people we confronted, all the secret societies we exposed, all the larger influences of really sinister power that abused it routinely, especially when it comes to Epstein. When the corporate media was promoting it, we were the ones saying, hey, there's this weird guy that's doing horrible things to small children with the protection of the FBI. And they said, you're crazy. You're a crazy conspiracy theorist. That never happened.
That's right. We have a track record of being accurate because we're actually researching the source documents.
And the information war is getting more and more intense because the information we're giving to people is actually helping them decide not to be victims of this larger perpetual state of the establishment and this larger kind of demonic satanic order that they all kind of worship and they all work for. So now it truly is make or break because they are, for a very long time, always trying to censor information, always trying to prevent people from talking to each other, always trying to prevent information that people should have the right to hear and discern for themselves. And they are deathly afraid of that. And we're reaching a pinnacle point where their propaganda doesn't matter. Their propaganda doesn't work anymore. They're saying, get the COVID-19 vaccine, go do this, go lock down, go do all this. And there's a huge population saying, no, I'm not going to do
this. And it's getting bigger every day.
When a couple of years ago, let's just be honest with ourselves, if we were back in the early 2000s, a lot of people would have just complied. A lot of people would have just went along with it. But now, truly, they opened up the floodgates. They're trying to close it up. We're in this key pivotal moment where they're trying to shut the doors. And the war's there. The war's on Rumble. The war's on Twitter. The war's with InfoWars. The war's at wearechange.org. We're fighting for you guys.
People not going to put all this shit right in front of you like that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do about 5 more minutes of this, and then we're going to touch base on Congress investigation into the IRS, and then that's going to wrap us up and shit. So let's go.
Listen, Alex, you made it Radowski.
It has to be Radowski.
Is it now Radowski?
Now it's Radowski. It's okay.
So you think my butchering over 20 years since you were a young teenager, exposing 9/11 as an inside job, that's kind of your name now?
I mean, you kind of pronounced it very loudly, and you forgot the K, but it's okay.
It's my weird Texas background access. I don't say 100, I say 100.
It sounds a lot cooler when you say it the way you do, so I appreciate it.
I don't know. Rakowski sounds good, too.
It doesn't matter.
Rakowski. I'm going to stop.
I don't care.
Hey, I got a lot of stuff I want to cover with you. The wars in Russia and Ukraine and the Middle East and the Soros funding the leftist protest, but the right-wing saying arrest them all. I don't agree with that. I mean, it is all a crazy moment. We're like, 180-something days the election. Let's put that on screen. How would you, you're a smart guy. You're a popular talk show host and documentary filmmaker, and I think really your greatest work is confronting hundreds of globalist leaders, from Lord Rothschild to David Rockefeller to Henry Kissinger over and over again, and exposing 9/11 and being a big filmmaker. You've been fighting the globalists since you were, what, 17?
15.
So how long have I known you?
20-plus years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's photos of us where we look like young goobers. And I still remember back in the day going to this old kind of rickety building that you were in. It was like 2 or 3 employees. And it's been a very long time, but it's been an incredible journey. We definitely learned a lot throughout the last few years, and it definitely feels like it's accelerating on so many different levels, and it's becoming so complex as well, especially with this university protests that are happening out there, that I'm getting a lot of flack for calling out a lot of the right-wingers, because I think their response is absolutely incorrect here. If you look at,
they're playing into the dialectic.
I remember being in Occupy Wall Street day one, before anyone even heard of Occupy Wall Street, before anyone was even paying attention to Occupy Wall Street. It was a movement, left-wingers, right-wingers, Ron Paul libertarians, and the Fedders, some left-wing communists as well, but they all kind of came together and said, hey, what's happening here is really incredibly unfair. We all need to come together to protest the system. We don't care that a Democrat is in power right now. We need to come together and voice our concerns about what's happening right now, or we're not going to have a country, or we're not going to have an economy. And being there in Occupy Wall Street, seeing everything that's happening at these universities, there's a lot of very interesting parallels there, because now you see the repression and you see the right wing kind of cheer it on. And I'm saying, the more you cheer it on, just like they did with Occupy Wall Street, with Tony with this Tony Baloney police officer who pepper sprayed a bunch of young women. That situation, that scene went viral. And I remember being there with other independent journalists on the ground. We were covering the police brutality. The police brutality, the repression, the attacks by the right-wing media made Occupy Wall Street as big as it is right now. And I feel like we're kind of reliving that same exact moment. And I'm saying, wait, these protests are very inconvenient to the Biden administration. The Biden administration is losing a lot of their Democratic voters because they're at odds with them with their Israel policy. And then
now the cops are going to make him the good guy. Here is the governor of Texas sitting in the state police to beat up reporters and people to the rescue.
Exactly. And then once
if we know that, the politicians understand that.
We have to play for the people in the middle. There's a lot of people in the middle watching, and when they're seeing a bunch of people saying they're all terrorists, they're all Hamas supporters, when they're not, when they see the state repress and stop free speech from actually being expressed, the people in the middle are automatically going to be siding with those individuals. I'm saying free speech is not hate speech. Let them have their speech. Let's not repress them. If anything, the Republicans should be absolutely allergic to the police state, especially what happened within the last few years. But it definitely does look like there's a lot of the kind of old George W. Bush tendencies of the Republican Party that are slowly trying to come back into the mainstream. But
and that's what drives people to the left.
Exactly. And there's a populist movement that says, wait, hold on. This is not all right. We're making the same mistakes that they made in 2001 with the Patriot Act, with the destruction of American civil liberties, with the expansion of the military-industrial complex, with the war on terror. That I remember protesting the war in Iraq, and there was a whole bunch of people there, not just from the left, but people from the
Ron
center.
Paul supporters. It was
Exactly.
Ron Paul. And so you're 15, 9/11 happens. You get active right away because you knew the truth. I get to know you, I guess, a year into your activism or so. That's how I've known you, 20-plus years. And then here we are, 20-plus years later, and, man, the whole New World Order is out in the open. I mean,
exactly.
What is that like for you? Because you're now an OG. Been around that long.
No, it's stunning because it's very slow, and the way that they do it is very calculated. And they usually play up different kind of themes in order to convince the general public. Oh, it's a dumb president. It's an old president. It's George W. Bush. It's a hick. He doesn't really know what's going on here. It's Joe Biden. He doesn't know what's really going on here. Meanwhile, there's a bigger power establishment slowly itching every year further.
But now it's speeding up.
Yes. Now it's speeding up, and now there's major events. There's 9/11, the war in Iraq, the banker bailout, and COVID-19. And then the war that they tried to do in Syria, the war that they did in Libya. And then the progression is getting faster and faster.
That's a good point. Used to was a new big event every 7-8 years. Now it's every 6 months.
Exactly. And now the news cycle moves so fast that people keep forgetting, and they keep forgetting a lot of their principles, a lot of their virtues.
And you already know it's fucking everything up and shit, so we getting short on time and shit. Congress investigating the IRS NSA illegally targeting American middle class with Alex Jones again.
And what we have learned is that the IRS, in fact, has been using AI to access bank accounts of American citizens without any kind of a search warrant or even without any specific claim that they have committed a crime. So this was something that was discovered by an undercover journalist, and what they found is that the IRS has claimed that they have access to every single person's bank account. This person also indicated that they've been working with the Department of Justice and that they have absolutely no problem whatsoever going after the little guy to make sure that they are paying their taxes. This is such a blatant violation of the Fourth Amendment that Jim Jordan and I sent a letter to the IRS demanding that they provide additional information about what they are doing with AI and what they are doing to protect the civil rights of American citizens.
So, Congresswoman, what's the end game here? Because at the end of the day, you can't put the AI genie back in the bottle, and it's so easy to use these technologies in the way that you're suspecting the IRS is. How do you protect American citizens and our constitutional rights?
Well, one of the things is we need a new administration in November because this administration has been absolutely lawless in terms of its surveillance of us, of members of Congress, of local officials, of people who are protesters, of voters. This administration has completely ignored the Bill of Rights, whether it's the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment. They have weaponized the government against us. So one of the things we have to do is we have to have a new administration come this November. But the other thing that we need to do is have accountability for these federal officials. One of the things that I have introduced with Representative Dan Bishop, and it has actually come out of committee, is the First Amendment Accountability Act. And what we're trying to do is hold federal employees liable for violating the First Amendment rights of American citizens. We already have those rights with regard to the Fourth and Fifth Amendment, but what's crazy is most people don't even realize that the IRS is directly accessing our bank accounts, and they're doing it through AI. The courts need to step in. We need to stop this kind of blatant violation of our constitutional rights. Again, we need a new administration, but we also need to hold these agencies accountable for their violations of the law.
Congresswoman, when you put IRS together with AI, what it tells me is they are definitely coming after people who make way less than $400,000 a year. Is that what you're seeing? Is this a move to get money out of the middle class?
Absolutely it is. And what you're referencing is when they claimed that they needed another 87,000 IRS agents, but they weren't going to target the little guy. They weren't targeting the middle class. They were targeting the wealthy who were not paying their fair share. The gentleman who works for the IRS that exposed the fact that they were using AI specifically stated that they like going after the little guy. They want to go after the little guy because they can't defend themselves. So they're not going after the people who make more than $400,000 a year. They're going after everyone in violation of our Fourth Amendment rights.
And they're going to get you, folks. I'm going to come back on the other side, close this out and shit. Don't move your motherfucking switch. It's your boy. You know what? Fuck cancel culture. Fuck anybody that's trying to cancel a motherfucker. You know what? Anybody out there that want me canceled and shit, they go fuck yourself. Matter of fact, Elon, tell him for me. Go fuck yourself. Tell him to go fuck yourself, Elon.
There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today. I hope they stop. You hope? Don't advertise. You don't want them to advertise? No. What do you mean? Go fuck yourself. Fuck them. Is somebody going to try to blackmail me with advertising? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Fuck them. Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? Hey, Bob. Actually, what this advertising boycott is going to do, it's going to kill the company. And the whole world will know that those advertisers killed the company. And we will document it in great detail. Let's see how both responds. And it'll be gone because of an advertising boycott. The judge is the public. And you think that the public is going to say that Disney is making a mistake? Yes. And they're going to boycott Disney? They already are. Is this coming across? Let the chips fall where they may. Go fuck yourself. Fuck them. Is somebody going to try to blackmail me with advertising? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Fuck them. Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? Hey, Bob. I'm sorry for that Twitter post. It was foolish of me. Of the 30,000, it might be literally the worst and dumbest tweet post that I've ever done. And what I see all over the place is people care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay? Fuck them. Fuck them. Okay? Fuck them. Go fuck yourself. Fuck them. Is somebody going to try to blackmail me with advertising? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Fuck them. Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? Hey, Bob.
Now listen, if you have not subscribed to YouTube channel, do it right now. Do it today. And all you have to do is click the big red subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Whoa!
Q stands for question and question.
questioning your mom. Look, hey, come on. Take you out behind the schoolyard. Get you pregnant.
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America.
And yet, despite the fact that we've now essentially clinically tested the vaccine on billions of people worldwide, around 1 in 5 Americans is still willing to put themselves at risk and put their families at risk rather than get vaccinated.
Automatically guided car, a self-driven car, will come to your hotel or wherever you are and will bring you to the airport. Actually, I had a discussion some months ago with the mayor of Los Angeles, and you know Los Angeles is one of the cities with the heaviest traffic, who told me in 2030 Los Angeles will be private car driven free. And this will allow to transform highways into parks and other public spheres.
The Democrats have made mistakes, but aren't their intentions good?
Well, if the driver of your school bus runs into a truck, hits a lamppost, drives into a ditch, you don't say his intentions are good. You get a new bus driver.
Well, what if I was to say I don't like you, or you fancy pants nigger, and I wouldn't sell you a tinker's damn?
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
We're going to show up to a knife fight with a gun, not a knife, okay?
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? Sure.
See, Bob, I can't send $100. If you can just worship God through $5 or $10, every Apostle Paul said the first of each week lay aside as God hath prospered you. That's why I believe God prospers people. Satan gave me this message. I mean, it's a lie of the devil. I shouldn't have said that. God gave me this message.
Digital identity is not just a passport that you will have on your iPhone in a digital form. It entails just about everything the government would like to know about you. And yesterday in the Dutch media, we saw a perfect example of what it could entail in the near future. We had the CEO of one of the largest Dutch banks say, why don't we start with a personal carbon credit? Oh. A carbon wallet, she called it, actually. Yeah. So right in line with the plans that the World Economic Forum people have for us. And she said it in a way that was particularly funny. She said, well, if everyone gets an individual personal carbon credit, why don't we make it so that rich people who, for example, want to go on holiday a little too often can buy personal carbon credit from other people who, for example, can't afford buying plane tickets or eating meat too often. So we can that way swap it out.
Okay, so I am a Christian. I believe in God. I love God. Cannot believe I'm crying on TikTok right now. But have you guys seen about the hearings that they're having in New York? They had today about the quarantine camps. If you don't know what I'm talking about, they had a hearing today in New York City about quarantine camps, basically, where they can come into your home completely unprovoked. They can force themselves into your home, and if they want to, they can take your children and they can put them in a quarantine camp. Hold on, I have to calm down. Okay, and they don't have to have a reason, they don't have to have logic, they don't have to have any proof that you've come into any contact with anyone. It can be you, your mom, your sister, your brother, your husband, your children, and oh wow, my heart is really overwhelmed right now with this. I would be fine. I would be fine. If they came and they took me away, I would be fine. I'm not worried about me one bit. I'm not even really all that worried about my husband. Because he's a scary, scary dude. But I have 3 children, and the thought of someone coming into my home and taking one of my kids away from me, I can't, y'all. I can't. Like, I try so hard to have faith, and I pray every single day for protection over my children, but like, when are we going to get to the point where we're really going to do something about this? Because we're just sitting back and we're always talking about doing something.
But we never do anything. You already know, folks. I want to say thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for coming through, hanging with your boy, man. Thanks for being willing to learn something and shit. You know it ain't easy being greasy, but I'm the greasy. Yes, you already know. Slide over to civiliantalkpodcast.com. Go to the Civilian Talk Radio section and shit and check out, Craken Time podcast and shit, man. It's definitely dope. Definitely a good adult conversation and shit. We'll give you some pointers on how to please your lady as well and shit, fella. So, don't be too ashamed and shit. Ain't nobody gotta know you listen to my pointers and shit on how to please your lady and shit. You already should know. But, I want to say thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for coming through, hanging with your boy and shit. You don't forget to pray. Ask God for forgiveness of your sins and shit. Ask, to help you be a better person tomorrow than you was today and shit. And keep on doing your thing. Keep on letting it hang and swing and keep on staying up. You already know. Very interesting shit. And we're going to keep on keeping on. You already know. So new things are coming. Got new shows are popping. Hopefully. We got new things a locking in the future. You already know. So I'm gonna check y'all later. I fucking love y'all. And until next time, it's your boy, Mr. P. I bring you that civilian talk. Please wake up American news, because if we don't wake up today, we may not have an America to wake up to tomorrow. And the more I say it, the more it makes sense, right? So I'm gonna check y'all later. And it's your boy.
Today's episode was brought to you by Civilian Talk Radio.
Your motherfucking switch.